anyone, but who better than me?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the casual stream with your host, Base the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It's appreciated. Apologies, we are 30 minutes late, but blame Anthony Joshua. He decided to turn up late to the press conference. Blame London traffic. They enabled the press conference to start, I think 15-20 minutes later than it was supposed to. So yeah, I decided to move the stream back because I didn't want people like being conflicted between watching that and watching this. I wasn't going to win that battle. So yeah, but thank you everyone who is tuned in, everyone who did jump in early from 7:30 onwards, just the people that have sort of been coming into the chat now. I still need to sort out a new ring light. As you guys can see, I've got the little makeshift lights on me here. Doing the job just for the minute. The natural light in the room is not great. I may start doing these streams in a different room in the house. But yeah, I figured I wanted to sort of come back to that raw, authentic area and just talk. And there's a lot to talk about. Although it's a good thing I didn't do this stream yesterday, because even though, you know, things could be said that are not the truth, not truthful in terms of the whole Don Charles thing, we have context to that, because, you know, there was the rumor yesterday that he had been let go from the team, and I was actually in the presence of someone who had divulged that information. Didn't want to put that out there just, you know, as hearsay, but I did chuck a little bit into the group chats just to see if people had heard similar, see what their thoughts were. But yeah, it looks as if thus far he's suffering with some kind of illness, some kind of sickness, and he just didn't want to get his charge ill. Do you believe that? Do you not? I guess we'll find out later on down the line when it comes to what's the truth and what's not in that situation. But yeah, look, the press conference is just finished. We've got to talk about that. We've got to talk about the energies of the different people. The undercard press conference was, you know, Ishmael Davis and Joshua Kelly. It was a nice little bit of spice in there, little quick build-ups. They must think, you know, well, we got 6 days notice. We've got to draw some interest to this fight. Want to get the people in earlier. It would make sense. Obviously, we knew Buatsi and Hutchinson was gonna be what it was. Yeah, put it this way. Usually, you guys know I don't do the basis picks until after the weigh-ins, more time. But I'll put out one video earlier on today. When this finishes, I'm actually going to be putting out the second part of basis picks. Before I end up on the round table, episode number 200 of the round table. I believe it's going to be on D-Style Boxing's YouTube channel. If it's not D-Styles, it will be Ringside Reporter, so just double check both of those channels. But yeah, I'll be on there. Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV will also be in the lineup, so you know it's going to be a very hot, interesting and spicy conversation. And then tomorrow there will be another video put out. I filmed all of them earlier on today. I don't normally film videos back to back, but I filmed everything. They're edited. One is literally there. All I've got to do is put the graphic on it, and then we're good to go. It's already uploaded on YouTube. It's ready to drop. The button's ready to press as soon as this is over. And then the third one, again, I'll be uploading that through the night. You'll get that in the morning, maybe around about 12 o'clock. So lunchtime viewings. So look out for that one. And then there may also be another extra special episode that drops in amongst all of the chaos, just for, you know, the people, as it has been a bit of a while since I've put out a lot of content consistently. So yeah, that's me and the talking over for a moment. I'm gonna say hello to who's in the chat. As soon as I get done with that, then we can talk. So Philip was number one in the building again. Shout out to you, Philip. Got your spot back. It's nice to see. Man like Mulla number 2 in the building. Shout out to you. Star Fox WR45E, shout out. I'm here before Spencer Foran blames any bad juju on base. Big up. Yeah. He said, "Damn, stream got pushed back further than KG said." That was just uncalled for. But yeah, now you know why the stream was pushed back. Stevan Grob as well. Shout out to you, man. Like Ra Holcomb. I saw Mr. Ra yesterday, first time in a few months. Actually, it was good to see him. I know that he's going through it in terms of his accreditations at the moment, but yeah. If I see him cough, I'll believe. Yeah, we'll talk about all of that shortly. If he was just sick, Dubois or Frank could have just said that. The way they responded is fishy. I mean, that's what we're going to talk about, but it gives more context to the conversation, because yesterday it was just plain old, he's been kicked out of the camp, it's a disgrace, X, Y, Z. Now there's a story behind it, and they've said he'll be there on fight night. I mean, they could just have, he's there on fight night just to save face, to show harmony and not to show any weaknesses in tactics and strategy. But, they say he's going to be there. So let's see. What do you make of Spencer saying Dubois Sr. is on some occult-ish? I mean, Spencer knows him a lot more than I do. So maybe he knows things I don't know. Without me physically seeing it, I'm never going to accuse anyone of doing anything. But what I will say is, if you just look at Stan Dubois, his mannerisms, the way he talks about like how he's basically groomed his children to be these warriors and these fighters from early on, there's every possibility that maybe he made certain deals to make his dreams come true. I saw someone put a comment out yesterday and said, yeah, I knew there was some Joe Jackson about him. Now, with that being said, look, as much as I laugh, and I shouldn't laugh at that particular comment, Joe Jackson was, very physically abusive and whatnot, but he did create like the greatest pop star the world has ever seen. So it couldn't literally be all bad, you know what I mean? That's the only thing I will say in sort of reference to that situation. Are you going to fight night? Nope, no accreditation, and I wasn't about to pay no exorbitant prices to go sit in the bleachers. As Turkey said, with good price I will be in attendance, but there was nowhere I was going to be able to sit for decent in the price bracket I had available to me for this particular. So I am going to be doing a watch along, and I want all of you to join me in partaking in that watch along. And I'm so happy, before I even get into anything else, I'm so happy that Joshua Buatsi and Hutchinson has now been moved to the third from top. So I know exactly where I can start my stream, because my stream starts just before that fight does. Maybe I might start Kakachi and Warrington. I might start it from there, but it's definitely starting with Hutchinson and Buatsi. Spencer Foran, hero or villain? You quoting my old video, yeah, Philip. See, that's how I know that you're a true channel diehard, and that's why I appreciate you. Shout evening to you, James. Shout out Fidel Tawaldi, Dubois' dad, BS Fury's dad. Make it. Oh, Dubois. Versus Fury's dad. I can't lie. I think Stan might have that one. Remember, actually, I was about to say he's the younger of the two, I think, and he's a unit just like Dubois is. Whereas I think he's in better shape than John, even though obviously John has the dark arts. But Spencer has a lot to say about Daniel's dad. Wonder what changed. If you want the speculation, I think it's literally a case that he's obviously got a very strong relationship with Don Charles, and he believes that Don Charles has been mistreated or disrespected in this scenario, or he's seen something in this scenario that he doesn't like, and he's sticking up for his friend. That's what I would assume, because he kind of did the same thing with Tunde Ajayi after he kind of got exiled from certain things. But I've noticed that even since Tunde has had this little bit of exile on him recently based on the comments he's made, I haven't really seen Spencer go at him with him as vehemently as he has with Don as of late. Is that maybe because Don is where the money may be potentially? So who knows? Triple D seemed pissed every time Ade asked him a question. Daniel don't like to talk. You know what I've noticed about Daniel Dubois, right? Forget about the nervousness or not being good with words or whatever. If you get him, he's one of those people you've got to get him at the right moment, and then if he's in that moment, he'll converse with you until he's bored. That is very much spectrum behavior. I know a lot of people like that. They've got this certain little social battery, and they'll be really, really like comfortable and around you and laughing and joking, and all of a sudden, just like that, there's no lead off, there's no like forewarning that things about to happen. All right, had enough now. Bye. I've got a little niece that's a little bit like that. She'll laugh and joke with you as soon as that moment is clicked in her head. That's it. I'm gone. I don't want to hear nothing else. Leave me alone. And you're like, wow, why did that happen? So yeah, who knows? And I just think today's one of those moments he doesn't want to be bothered with questions. It seems like Ariel has moved. Well, remember, his whole show is just combats general, so he'll do all kinds of combat chat. To be honest, move this down a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really read too much into it, if I'm totally honest. But I know him and Adi, I think they got their show literally. I think it started at 8 o'clock, so I might even be cutting into their first show. But oh well, I had to make a stand somewhere. How does Daniel chat with his girl? I mean, who knows? Maybe there's no talking. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not even going down that path. I'm keeping this stream as PG as possible. But yeah, now okay. So we got all the introductions and the fun chat out of the way. Look, so let's talk about this this press conference. I mean, we had, what was it? Yesterday we had public workout. You had Anthony Joshua well, I don't know if he turned up late to it or he just walked out late to the public workout. I know Daniel Dubois, I think, he had to wait a little piece of time. He had to make him wait today. I'm just wondering, is it a case that in this particular situation, Anthony Joshua is just trying to wind him up to the point that Daniel is basically just gonna, like, there's no game plan. He's just gonna be annoyed that Joshua has been treating him like a child and treating him like lesser than, not treating him like the champion, and that's gonna make him fight off emotion a bit more. I'm wondering if that's part of the game plan, or if Anthony Joshua is literally just doing these things because I'm busy. I've got multi-million pound investments and portfolios to look about. Like, I can't just, I'm not just gonna be here and let that slide, because when this money's over, who else is gonna look out for me? Like, that's the goal. I'm wondering if it's something along those lines as to why he'd be taking a little bit of time in this week. But if it was me, I'm gonna assume it's big boy, it's strong arm tactics. It's about, I'm the big boss, you wait for me. You might think you're the champion, but this is what a champion looks like. This is how a champion moves. This is how a champion takes, gets what he wants. I'm the A side. You can be a champ all you want, but you'll never be as big as me, and I'm showing you why. And I just wonder if it's all like little bro, small man tactics just to get into Daniel Dubois' head, which, when you guys watch the video I did on the prediction video for Joshua and Dubois, you'll see how I've laid out a pretty interesting philosophy as to how Joshua is not going to be able to get into Daniel Dubois' head. You guys, when you watch that video, you can let me know if you think I'm right, or you can let me know if you think I was talking total nonsense in the video. It'll be interesting to hear your thoughts. But yeah, that, like I said, that'll be out tomorrow early afternoon. And then as soon as we stop this stream, like I said, there'll be a video dropping within 15 minutes of this stream closing, just for you guys before you go to bed. So you can see my thoughts on the undercard, who I think wins each fight, how I think each fight. I even tried to do a little bit of semi-analysis in terms of styles and breakdowns for some of the fights. I tried to go back to the old roots, but you know, sometimes I just be talking like I'm talking now, and the video just is long. The part that I uploaded earlier on today, that part was supposed to be linked with the early the undercard of the fight. But the two of them together, plus the introduction, I think the whole thing was running at just under 30 minutes. And I thought, for not even chatting about the main event, that's maybe pushing it a bit too much. So yeah, I cut those two into two different pieces, uploading them into two pieces, then obviously the main one uploading tomorrow at normal time. Let's check the chat just before we start talking about everything else. Dubois only likes to talk spicy and pre-recorded interviews, but in front of his opponent, completely different energy. Sounds a bit like Deontay Wilder, innit? But the difference is, when Dubois... Actually, no, I can't even say that's the truth, because remember, Dubois was talking spicy to Jerome Miller. He was talking spicy to Joe Joyce. Remember, he disrespected his mom about the site thing in person. Obviously, you know, he was like, let's go with AJ. So he does kind of keep energy. It's just that he's not, when he's obviously got the pre-recorded videos, he has the moment to think of what he's going to say and execute it at the moment he wants to execute it. When he's on the spot, I just think he doesn't have the same quick-wittedness to be able to rattle off certain lines. Philip's laughing at something. I don't know what I said to make him laugh, or maybe that was the chat. Rahul, can you be surprised how far you... Oh, I know why Philip's laughing. Okay. You'd be surprised how far you can go using Google Translate. Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's any talking going on. Actually, no, let me stop. I'm not getting into them conversations right now. What do you make of the media workout? Needed to be an open air in public rather than... to be honest, I didn't see any of the workouts, so I can't even comment on that, to be real with you. I literally got in there in the fifth, I think it was the end of the fifth round of Chris Congo and something, what's his name, Jonathan Quinn, or whatever his name was. Like, I got in there towards the end of that fight, so I didn't see any of that. All I saw was just, you know, this is the OVO Arena. And they managed to get me back over to Northwest London. But you know what? Surprisingly, it didn't take me as long as it usually takes me to make that journey. Usually it's a 2-hour trip to get from my ends to Wembley, especially when I'm doing it like that Saturday. But the time I left my house was, I think I left about 6 o'clock on the dot, and I got there about just after 7:30. Maybe 7:35, 7:38, something like that. So about 20 minutes less than usual, or maybe 10 minutes. But obviously coming home was much quicker. But that's one thing. Whenever I go to them areas, I always have to. I try to either leave late to arrive there, or I leave there very late to get home early. So shout out to Emma Willis in the building. Good to see you. Really excited for the fight now, but I low-key think AJ is too comfortable. Ooh, okay. Interesting. I mean, to be fair, he had that same demeanor with Ngannou. And well, Wallin, he had the demeanor except for the face-off. Actually, no, to be honest, because he was a bit frustrated because there was all the ops on the table with him. So, yeah, you might be right. Maybe he is feeling himself a bit too much in this one. I guess we'll wait and see. They all literally went in and did 2 minutes of shadow boxing or hitting some pads for the purposes to publicize the event. Yeah, well, the media workout, ultimately, they do a little 2 minutes and they talk to the media. I don't know how many people got interviews yesterday. It's funny, though, because I saw a lot of boxers that weren't on the event doing media, like Kevin Lorena. I saw Moses Atalma do a few bits and pieces. Sonny Edwards was doing quite a lot. Conor Benn, everyone that wasn't fighting. But yeah, I mean, look, if that's what works for them, that's what works for them. Most people already know the media workouts ain't really what we care about. You more want to do the it's the press conference and the weigh-in. That's normally where you're probably going to get the most energy or the most vim or the most bang for your buck. But look, the fact that they're now doing these little media workouts and they're putting fights on, if that's something that can continue, that will bring more people to them. Events will be nicer. So I can't really complain too much about that at this point in time. I feel that media workouts are just pointless. We know pretty much what they're going to do, whether it's jump rope, pads, or shadow box. Yeah, I mean, unless you put it into the contract that you have to actually do a proper workout, you have to do a 15 to 20 minute workout of what you've been training in camp, whether it's the drills that you're training or just the way that you prepare to train. Unless they're going to do that, then they're just going to do the little 2 minutes. It's just is what it is. Yeah, Conor Benn was there. He wasn't that far away from me in their venue. I see Ziad Al-Mayouf was there as well. John Harding Jr. was in attendance. Who else? I said Kevin Lorena. Jack Catterall, he was there. Yeah, there was a good number of people just there. But obviously it's Riyadh season. You're gonna want to have your face in and amongst the crowd. What's your thoughts on potential pay-per-view buys? Seen adverts for the fight all over London. Yeah, I'm thinking about 8 to 900,000 to be honest. But it's on every platform. It's on DAZN, it's on Sky Sports, it's on TNT Sports. I think combined across all of them, around 8 to 900,000, maybe even a bit more, because the build-up's been pretty decent. Yeah, Denzel Bentley was there, although I didn't see him. I know he was there because he took a picture with Pugilist Boy and Chris Congo, but I didn't manage to catch Denzel. Fidel Tawaldi with the €6 super chat. Thank you very much. I'll some beer money at you. Ring IQ approved this message. 100%. Well, I'll probably use it for some raw smoothie juice. I'm not really on the beer too much, but I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much for the donation to the channel. Mullah Prince Nazim's son looks like Carol. Yes, he does. Funny enough, both of them do. I'm just trying. I think Adam probably looks a little more like him, but the other son, whose name I don't remember, but the shaggy haired son, he's got a bit of Carol look about him as well. To be fair, I guess that's just the genes that that Naseem is dealing with. But yeah, okay. So I mean, look. Press conference aside, I thought the press conference was fun. Like I said, if we go through the press conference, Ishmael Davis and Joshua Kelly. I see. Why do I keep? He wants to be called Joshua now. That is interesting. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret, even though the video is gonna drop after this. I gave my prediction on that fight. And I'm predicting that Ishmael Davis is going to score the upset. I know how he has to win that fight. Stylistically, it's actually a fight that is tailor-made for Joshua Kelly. But I know for a fact that Ishmael Davis knows stylistically the disadvantage he has, and I think he's going to make certain adjustments to change his style in that bout. So that's the one freebie that I'm going to give you in terms of the basis picks and the predictions that I recorded earlier. But yeah, Ishmael Davis, I've got him for the upset. Sami Ahmed, maybe, I don't know. No, it's because their mother has the same Yorkshire facial structure that Catterall does. So you're saying that's a specific Yorkshire thing, not just a bloodline. That's just what they look like in Yorkshire. Fair enough. What's this iniquity business Spencer is alluding to? Shout out to iLucan. So basically, Spencer is saying that if you practice iniquity, you're into dark magic and dark arts and not very holy actions, basically. So it's almost saying that you practice dark devil-ish type things. Devil, demon, black magic, things that are not holy and not revered in the land of Allah or Christ. So that's basically what Spencer is alluding to. Whether or not that is the case, as I said, I don't know, and I'm not going to accuse anyone without first-hand proof myself. But yeah, he knows the team very well, so all I can say is he knows something I don't. Never been high on Kelly, not a fan of his style. Yeah, no, it's a bit too busy. It's a lot of flash with very little substance, or at least it was. But to be honest, the Troy Williamson fight, he did impress me a little bit in that one, in his resolve and just how he went about business. I give him the props for that. I'm worried the heavyweight division will become less exciting like the post-Lewis era when Joshua retires in a couple of years. I think it will be less competitive, but I think it might still be pretty exciting. Because look, the new crop of heavyweights coming through, there are some clear-cut standouts above everyone else. But I feel like there will be enough people on a smaller level to be able to keep the fun matchup. It will just be the fact that the people at the top, I think, will just stay and reign at the top until, they become old. That's sort of my opinion on it. Raw, let's see, saying, you rightly pointed out when it was announced that Kelly versus Smith was a dead-end fight. Now he's got someone who can derail him after he got to number 2 of the WBO at 154. I mean, yeah. Sometimes I'll be forgetting some of the gems I throw out there, and I don't pay people for, I don't get paid for. But we'll see what happens. We'll see, what the future holds for both, I guess. I've really got to get the wiring sorted out in this room. Skyline, a shout out to you. Fearon is just crying because Stanley Dubois didn't give him a fee for introducing Don Charleston. Maybe. What's the point of Chamberlain versus Padley going back to area level? Yeah, I mean, look, the one thing I will say though is that fight kind of makes sense being on this card as an undercard fight, because that fight's never going to be a main event. I can't see it being like a main event on even the York Hall shows, to be honest. So just having it just as a curtain jerker, all right, cool. It's not really an issue for me. Do you believe in the sparring stories between AJ and Dubois? I believe that Dubois caught him with a good shot. Anthony Joshua's admitted as much, but he said before the only person that's ever knocked him down in sparring or put him over was what's his name, was Price, David Price. He said that's the only person that's ever done it. He said he cracked him with a good shot, he felt the shot, but he took the shot and then he carried on with the spar. I believe that. I believe that maybe he got caught with the shot and maybe his knees buckled a bit, or he did a little bit of a dip, but then he just got back to business, or they told, they broke it up, say, okay, wait, take a moment, and then let's get back to it. But yeah, the whole thing when they was talking about, he knocked him out in sparring, X, Y, Z, I never believed that. I never thought that was the case. So, Sparring does not translate to actual fight 100%. I'd have thought it was perfect to start with Chamberlain versus Noakes. Yeah, I think Frank is still, he's still old school in certain ways. He's going to keep them fighters apart from each other until they're both at either that upper British, European, or world level. That fight won't get made unless one of them takes a L, and then whoever takes the L will just be used as a stepping stone for the other one. Unless if they're both undefeated, that fight doesn't get made unless it's for a world title. Literally timing my arrival so I missed the Chamberlain fight. They're guiding him to the title with soft opponents. So what time are you looking to get into the arena, Emma? And I swear you're seating about like section 129 or something like that, if I'm correct from what you said last time. So you should have a pretty clear view of the ring. Make sure you just jump into the chat on the watch along, just to let us know sort of what area you're in and how it's looking. Maybe even send a picture to me via the DMs, just so I can see what it looks like from your vantage point. Thought the purpose of Riyadh season was to have the biggest, most glamorous events, level area fights for small hall promoters. Yeah. I think really and truly they should be 4 fight cards, maximum 5 fights, but I would say 4 fight cards, but every fight has to mean something. If it's a Riyadh, whether that's a championship, whether it's like the acid test, like the big final acid test before a world title fight or something like that, or like super, or like real competitive 50-50, or like a rivalry or a grudge match, like only like the most, it should be like remember we talk about WWE, that premium live event, the only fights that you see, the matches that are the ones that were built up by either the storylines or the ones that have the highest stakes. That should be all that the Riyadh season cards offer, is high stakes fights. And if that means there can only be 3 bouts on the card, or 4 bouts on the card, so be it. That's my personal opinion, but I won't argue at this point. Why is there no news about Yard, Hutchinson, etc. make big money now? Why he's left in the dust? I mean, look, if the rumors are to be believed, and I'm not going to necessarily spread them here, there's no news because they want it to be that way. Like, they just basically want him to almost go away, not really be seen or heard of until a certain time has elapsed. And yeah, for those who know. I don't know how that plays out, but I want to see him back. But I just want to see him back against like a proper a level that I can judge, not one of these, these are fighting the absolute cream of the crop guy and then going back to fighting the bin man. I want to see what level you're truly at. But then why is Frank Warren trying to man a Bentley versus Sharaj and dodge Adames? Maybe they just want Adames. Maybe they're just trying to age him out a bit more, or they want a bit more experience before they take that. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you, to be honest. Skyliner, yes, I am doing a watch along. It will probably be starting around about 8:30. I'm likely to start it either halfway through the Kakachi Warrington fight or just before Buatsi and Hutchinson, because I don't want to be on a stream like last time where I was on the stream for nearly 6 hours. Yeah, I can't do that one again. So I'm hoping I can, hit that sweet spot of that 3 hours, take my little break when Liam Gallagher's performing, and then come back afterwards. Okay, so you're gonna get there 4:45, raw. So you trying to see everything, Emma. I don't blame you, because I don't know how much you paid for your ticket, but I know it was expensive. So you go there, you get that money's worth. But I'm also gonna feel bad for you, because even though you said the other day you've got money to burn, I know the prices of everything there is gonna be disgusting. The drinks, the food, the memorabilia, and anything else you may want to. It's going to be a very expensive day for you. Another reason Chamberlain is on there is because he's Turkey's favorite fighter. Yeah, that might end up being his moniker. You know, like you've got like Ishmael, the Black Panther Davis. You're gonna have Mark, Turkey's favorite fighter, Chamberlain. That'll be the alias soon. Thought it was trying to replicate Don King 90s cards. He has 4 or 5 world title fights. The level I'd have thought for the money being put in. Yeah, but you know what they say, man, inflation and today's price and yesterday's price and all of that. Allegations that Yard is serving a shadow. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. Shout out to D-Star in the building, $2 super chat. Thank you for you. And don't forget, as I said earlier, I will be on the round table with D-Star, Joe Habib, Danny Glover, and a few other esteemed guests for the 200th episode of the round table from, I believe it will be, I think it's midnight. D-Star, correct me. I know it's 7 o'clock on the Eastern Standard Time, so I think that is midnight over here still. Clocks ain't gone backwards yet. So yeah, so tune in from 12 o'clock till about 2, and yeah, you'll see me do my thing. I haven't been on there for a while, so it would be good to come back and talk boxing and talk respectable smack. Shout out to Joseph Frimpong in the building. Think Yard thing is true, possibly. D-Star confirms, yeah, 7 o'clock EST. Right, so Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be on Ringside Reporters channel, not D-Stars. So make sure you guys tune into that. Drink £9 minimum. Yep. And we're going to be eating 2 whole meals there. Definitely buying merch, but if Dubois wins, I'm returning. Minimum you're spending, I think, is about £170. Raymond Hill, shout out to you. What's the story on Don Charles? So, according to the report, Don Charles is ill and doesn't want to be around Daniel while he's ill because he doesn't want to potentially make Daniel sick so close to fight night. But they have said that he will be there in the corner on fight night. But yeah, I don't know. You don't normally see an entire week of go. I know this is like an extended week, but you don't normally see a whole week go by where the trainer isn't there in some capacity. So him not even being there on the weigh-in day will look a little suspect to some people. But if he's ill, he's ill. Skyliner, the editor, well, Tunde claimed they want a percentage of Saudi pot rather than a flat fee. That's me, which seems far-fetched for a fighter to want who has never sold pay-per-view or sold out any arenas. Yeah. Also, a fighter that's never actually, if we're gonna be real, actually no, I'm lying. I was about to say a fighter that's never actually been the main event A side, but he has against Lyndon Arthur in the. Actually, no, technically, Lyndon Arthur walked second. Yeah, it was in London, but his name was first on the. Okay, maybe Anthony Yard has never been a main event A side on a platform. So yeah, you have that, and then you want a percentage of when we don't know what you generate on pay-per-views. Seems a bit far-fetched. That's very interesting. It's just A-side in an empty studio. Yeah, I think probably that would have been the most A-side in the first fight with Lyndon Arthur behind closed doors during lockdown. Tyrion Stark, okay. Shout out to you. Something's not adding up. Why didn't Frank get ahead of this and say something before? And also Daniel been saying the whole time he doesn't know where he is. I mean, hey, we'll all find out how Don's looking over the weekend. If he starts looking a little bit, if Don's got that little look of like that thunder on his face, like just vexed and angry, then you know that he's just been wheeled out for some contractual obligation and he's not really a part of the team. But I think, unfortunately, win, lose or draw on the weekend, this is the last time we do see Don Charles in that corner. even if he's even if, like, you know, everything is said is true, because if you think about it, if Daniel Dubois loses, it's always the trainer that gets it first, right? So, and then if he wins, they might start thinking, okay, well, we needed you to unlock some of his just his mental. Now we're gonna get someone else to work on the boxing again, because that's clearly not you. You couldn't get us to that highest level. Hatman thinks Don Charles is desperate for glory as a trainer. That's why he's with Daniel. Yeah, I watched that video earlier on. I didn't actually mean to. I was uploading my video and the notification came up on the phone as I was pressing something, and then the video just started playing, which messed up my one. But I said, all right, let me watch it. And to be honest, Hatman makes some interesting points. I mean, Don said before he's desperate to, you know, to prove that that he is like one of the top guys, and he's never really been given a fair opportunity to do so. So maybe he is prepared to, you know, basically take some of the shit from them just to get that you know, just to get that moment of glory, to say that I had a world champion, I trained the world champion. I think the majority of Daniel's responses is I don't know. I mean, to be fair, that's a Daniel response on most days anyway, so it's what's the difference between then and now kind of thing. Does Triple D listen to anyone but his dad anyway? Fair point. Why did Ade not push harder to get proper replies from Dubois? Made the press conference kind of flat. I mean, look, there's only so hard that you can push someone to talk. Like I said, I think Daniel's just got that social, that cue, or that, you know, that part of his spectrum where once his energy's gone and he's no longer feeling it, you're not going to get anything out of him. You're just kind of going to be beating a dead horse, so to speak. So, to be fair, Ade pressed him as hard as he could. Because Daniel was saying right from the start, yeah, I'm done talking, I just want to fight. Was, okay, I'm gonna come back to you. Like, I'm gonna make you answer. So, and you know what, I rate it, because Ade tried to get gangster with it, and then realized, oh shit, I'm talking to Daniel. But he said, I'm gonna make you talk. I'm gonna make you speak and give some answers later on, if that's okay. Like, he threw in the if that, he caught himself like, oh wait, I can't give him the East London flex right now, and he's like twice my size. Let me relax. And that, you know, Ade's class when it comes to those things. You'll get that little bit of that, not street, but just, you know, that moment of no, that you're gonna talk, big man. But then he drops in a little bit just to keep the peace. As much as I like Hatman, he can come across ranting. Oh no, he's not come across. He says himself, all right, now I've ran over, I've had my rant, blah blah blah, like and subscribe. As I said last week, he's got moments where he'll literally create an argument that that someone might potentially say in the future, just so we can squash the argument, like, from early, and cuss people who haven't even said anything at the time. It's actually, I mean, it's a skill in itself. It's like he's cutting down conversations before they even happen. But yeah, Tyrion, Dubois doing the smart thing, to be fair to him. Keep it brief. He knows he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Fair. Do you think the Hutch really believes he battered Buatsi all them years ago? Seems to have genuine contempt. I believe that he probably got the better of a couple of spars, or maybe even or he did a lot better in the spar than they were thinking he would, and he's taken comfort from that. but I don't think he battered him, and I don't think he believes he battered him either. He probably gave him his most awkward spar ever. I could believe that. But maybe to him, that's what battering is. Like, you know, I made you look foolish in the spar, or I had you falling over your front foot trying to catch me, or whatever. I don't know. I mean, look, sparring, like people keep saying, innit? But when those 10-ounce gloves come on, it will be a different situation. And if you look at their face-off, like their face-off itself was very telling, where you've got Hutchinson, he's trying to be angry, but then he keeps nodding his head like, all right, and like trying to smile, and literally Buatsi's face don't change the whole time. And there's one point it's almost like you can see it registering in Hutchinson's in his thoughts, like, oh, okay, maybe I can't win this, and it made him look a bit nervous and uneasy. So, are you doing fight breakdowns of some or all of them? Yeah, like I said, I don't know if you was here right at the start. I'm doing as soon as I finish this, the video is uploading. It's already uploaded. I just need to put the graphic on it, and then I'm releasing the video for the undercard, the predictions. And there is quite a bit of critical analysis, like how I see the fights being played out as well. So yeah, all of that's to come as soon as this finishes. The beauty of the pencil, shout out to you, Greenspace. I've been listening whilst driving. I couldn't comment. Big up the chat. Good stream. Thank you very much. Look, man, I always appreciate every time you guys show up. All the regulars pulling up is always a beautiful thing. Pokes is live. Shout out to you, Greenspace. Do you see any upsets? I guess it depends what you classify as an upset. I've said, and this is the one that I actually let off for free. I think Ishmael Davis will beat Joshua Kelly. Whether that's considered an upset or not, I don't know. But I do think that is going to take place. But you will find out the rest of my predictions in the video as soon as this stream is over. Lucan, it's a bit of cognitive dissonance to hire a trainer, yet the dad is overshadowing the trainer in the corner on fight night. I mean, at this point, if Daniel only listens to his dad might as well just be the trainer. His dad might as well just be the guy in the corner that does maybe just employs someone to do pad work with him, but he's the one that gives. No, I want to see that double right hand, Daniel. I want to see up the middle, Dan. Up the middle. That's what we want. Yeah. Put the left hook behind it now, Dan. Make sure you keep those feet moving. Yeah. Like, hey, stick man. Make sure I want you to go left, right, and then over the top so he can swoop under it. That's what we want. That's what we want to do, Daniel. Remember that. That's what you got to remember. That's the drill. Left, right, left, up, over the top. You swoop underneath it. All right. Then you come up the middle with the uppercut, and then you hit that left hook over the other side. And yeah, Daniel, my guy, the big champion, my son. Yes, Daniel. He might as well just do that. If he's gonna undermine every single coach, like, I mean, you know. Dubois is not articulate, all right, but not slow or dumb. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I think there is a level of I don't know if slow is the right word, but there's a level of I don't know the right word, because I don't want to say a word that I know in my head is going to sound rude, but there is a level of something there. It's not just the articulateness, because most boxers ain't articulate, but Daniel, you can tell that there's something there. And shout out to Carmen building. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for joining. Late, but you made it. I hear you. Hutchinson felt uneasy in the press conference. Yep, because he couldn't get the rise out of Joshua that he wanted. I don't know if that's a pause-worthy moment, but I'm gonna say pause just in case. Ahija Selassie, shout-outs to you. Thank you very much for joining the building. Raymond Hell's base. What's the story with David Dubois? Is he being a hindrance? Oh, you mean Stan? His name's they call him Dave, but his name's Stan. Is he being a hindrance? I don't know. I mean, look, at the end of the day, one thing we do know this for sure. If it wasn't for Stan, Daniel was ready to quit in the Jerome Miller fight. You could tell that he was at points. It looked like he was looking for a way out. The pace was starting to get to him. Like he wasn't really liking what was happening. But then the dad came over, got him back on job, and he found that he had that second wind, and he went about his business. And the same with the Hrgović fight. Those first 3.5 rounds, almost to 4 rounds, it was a bit of an issue. Dad comes in the corner, turns it around. So he might be a hindrance in the build-up, but he's not a hindrance on fight night. If anything, he's the secret sauce for Daniel. Buatsi needs to avoid being emotionally involved. He needs to be objective. Having said that, I have enjoyed this build-up from Buatsi, as he normally bores me. I hear you. Thank you, Philip. Buatsi needs to understand he's not just representing himself for South London, and you guys need a big win. Yeah, don't I know it? Oh gosh. Where else are we now? But does the dad have a boxing brain? Well, he was the one that took Daniel on the pads from what, 5 years old, 6 years old, something like that. So I would assume he's got a bit of a brain on him. And remember, he's wanted to do this boxing thing from early doors. Like he's the one that pushed them all into it. So I would reckon he studied a lot of old school boxing. That would be my assumption anyway. Kame, I may be wrong, but aren't they supposed to have a certain amount of people in the corner? You can have up to 4 people. You get the trainer, you get chief second, a cut man, and I think there's like an assistant that you can have. So I think you can have maximum 4, but only one person can be in the ring at one time. I think you can only have 3 people on the apron at one time. So if you've got 4, one of them has to stay on the floor, and then 1 in the ring, and then 2 can be on the sides. I think that's the correct formula. But most people only ever have 3. They just have the chief second, the trainer, and the cut man. Does Dubois Senior have a boxing background? He might just be needed as the voice, but proper coach boxing will provide. He doesn't have a boxing background from what I understand. I think he wanted to be a boxer, but I don't think he ever managed to make that happen. I don't even know if he had any like white collar or amateur bouts, to be honest. What do we think about Spencer's comments about Stan Dubois? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, and no, Philip, clueless wasn't the word I was thinking, but in terms of on fight night, I think he's Daniel's special weapon, but outside of that, apparently nobody in the boxing game likes him. Karma, he's definitely touched by an angel. He has some special needs. I mean, I look at this point in time, I think that's not an unfair assumption to make. I mean, it would be nice if we got conclusive evidence about that, just so we can stop speculating or making fun. Like, if he literally does have some special needs, some special needs requirements, or has some mental issues or problems, or like learning difficulties or whatever, we should probably know that by now. It might even endear him more to the public. Dubois is simple-minded, is what you mean. That's not what I mean, but I mean, that's not bad. Spencer called his dad a scumbag. Yep, he did. Do you think a rift can happen between Dubois and his dad if he quits against AJ? No, I think his dad's always gonna have that blind belief that he can do it again. He can come back. So no, I don't actually think there will be. I think he'll blame the trainer and he'll try and find the next person. And then if it was to happen again, he'll find the next person. He'll find the next person. I just think that's his mentality. Daniel is like the golden goose, the the hope. So I think that's basically how we sees him. I can see why Caroline cut her dad off when she came on your show. I was not surprised by the reason. Yeah, I mean, look, she divulged a lot, and I spoke to her actually off camera. Actually, not even off camera. Like, I sent her a message about something, and she replied. She sent me a pretty lengthy reply detailing some of the stuff. Not going into detail, but like alluding to exactly why those bridges probably can't be mended in the future and stuff. So yeah, did you see Triple D walk past and ignored all the fans yesterday? So funny to see. I what, in the public workout? I didn't. I was driving at the time. If you're talking about the grand arrivals, I don't even remember. Maybe he did, but again, this isn't his bag. He's not good with people. Daniel's not a people person like that. To be honest, I had to kind of hustle an interview out of him just before the Usyk fight, and the only reason I managed to get it is because I played on the fact that we're both South Londoners. I had the Lewisham Legends hat on. I'm like, look, man, it's Lewisham, it's Deptford, it's Greenwich. Come, let's talk. And then like he was ready because he was dipping past a lot of people. But eventually I managed to catch him. Obviously, I feel like he felt fairly comfortable enough to just chat to me. And we had like a little, 3-4 minute conversation, 5-minute conversation. But yeah, like I doubt I'd be able to get that again now. Because like I said, his social battery, he's done when he's done. And there's no fulfilling or like, oh, okay, I'll do one more. He's just off. Oh, the beauty of the pencil with the £2 super chat. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure catching up. It's a pleasure you've been in attendance, so thank you very much for that. But Waxy needs to beat this Hutchison guy. Yep. Another thing I will say, in my predictions video, I did say, full disclosure, full disclaimer, before I give my prediction, I am rooting for Joshua Buatsi to win this fight, and I'm hoping that he wins this fight. So just so you guys know exactly what team I'm on, whether I predicted he would win the fight or not, you guys have to wait and see when the video drops. My red flag with Dubois and his motivation is that he always brings his dad bringing him in the sport. He always brings his dad bringing him in the sport. Oh, maybe he always mentions his dad bringing him in the sport. Yeah, I mean, clearly, I don't think Daniel was I don't think boxing was his be-all and end-all. I don't think that's what he ultimately wanted to do when he first, when he was a youngster. But his dad got to him early and said, look, you're good at this. This is what you're going to do. And that's basically what he did. Let's see. He comes across as autistic, which I'm confident to say this as my son is. I mean, I think he's definitely on the spectrum somewhere, whether it's autism, whether it's Asperger's, whether it's even just maybe just a little bit of sensitivity. Like there's something there, definitely. But as I said, that's where I know I've got a niece that's like that. She'll be laughing and joking with you, then instantly, with no there's just a switch, and she'll say, okay, I'm done, and then you can't talk to her again until she's ready to talk. Otherwise she just like overwhelmed and just wows out. So yeah, and that he seems very much like that to me. WB have ordered a man to stand the honest for Shakram Gearsoft. Interesting, maybe Matchroom will win the bid for this one as they promote Shakram. Maybe, but the interesting thing for that is that if he knows that he's gonna have to face Shakram Gearsoft, he might just decide to take the Boots Ennis fight now. Because Shakram will step aside, Matchroom will make sure of it. Dan was homeschooled, so maybe he never got a diagnosis. Just happy someone like him has made money to support himself in the future. 100%. And he doesn't seem like a materialistic person either. So I reckon his money, unless people like literally rob him, I think he'll be the kind of person that will have generational money because he doesn't look like he spends much. Fidel, is nobody bothered that this old man's name is Stan? No, man, Stanley's a true old school name. Man like Stanley, I would be more concerned if it was a young person called Stanley, because that's like Cuthbert, that's like, you know, Ethel, Beryl, you know, Geraldine. Like, these are names like, actually, maybe I shouldn't say Geraldine because I know a Geraldine at my workplace. She's younger than me, but she's from a Latin country. But those kind of names, you're expecting to see people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, they're not the younger names that we're expecting. It won't come off as endearing because it will seem like the father is pimping out his special needs child for money. Yeah, there you go. See, Calm always knows the right things to say. Has Tio's racist comments towards Bud and Tank been mentioned, where he called them monkeys? No, I didn't hear about this. When did this take place? I was saying on Twitter, apparently. Okay. I'll take a look. That might, because I've got a video that I need to do, probably like late Friday or early Saturday before I do the streams. If that's there, I'll talk about it most definitely. What a life-changing moment if Ishmael Davis wins, 100%. Recently, I only saw it on Twitter today. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take a look when we're done. But Spencer apparently knows Dubois' dad for years. Did they fall out? I think Spencer is not happy with maybe the treatment his dad's given towards Don Charles. I think that any beef he's got with him stems around Don, ultimately. Dubois definitely on the spectrum, and his dad taking in boxing is a smart move just for him to deal with life and school. I also think it got his pros and cons when it comes to the pro game. Yeah, but you say when it comes to life and school, he was homeschooled for the majority of the time. And you remember, dad was like, oh, well, schools, he's like, yeah, well, school's kind of just getting in the way of the sports. So, you know, if I got to teach him, then fine, I'll teach him the basics at home. And, you know, I'll do that, and then I'll get him on the pads, and then we can, you know, we don't really need the school because we're going to be a world champion anyway, you know what I mean? So, you know, don't really care about that school stuff. Like, it's getting in the way. Like, we don't want that. Like, we want to be a world champion. Who wants to hear about reading books and being English literature and talking about religious education and studies and all of that rubbish? Like, the studies are just getting in the way of the training. He's got some push-ups to do, he has. So, and he's got some bars to do some pull-ups on. We don't really care about the school stuff. Like, forget all that. Like, let's do the training, innit? I really need a tissue, but I can't bother to get one. So yeah, apologies for all the sniveling people. Apparently your dad wants all the purses in the family account. Oh jeez. Wow, never liked him anyways. He's jealous. You can believe that someone like that needs his money managed, but someone like him can easily be manipulated, especially by family. Hope it's not the latter. Yeah, I mean, the only Stan I know is Stanley. According to Rick Glacier, Tank could be fighting Lamont Roach next year. I heard about that. And they're gonna try and charge you $90 on pay-per-view for the privilege. His Brazilian girlfriend will make sure to spend that sweet money. And that guy, evening to you. Shout out to you. All right, look, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to last comments, last thoughts. I'm gonna let this play, and then I'm gonna upload the next video for the night. Before I actually do that, really quick, so Jaime Munguia versus Eric Brazilian is taking place tomorrow night. Nina Menke against Daniela Bermudez is taking place Saturday early evening, taking place in Germany. Also, Callum Walsh is fighting tomorrow. No, he's fighting on Saturday as well. Callum Walsh, Ali Akhmedov, Thomas Carty as well. So if you want to know my predictions for all of those, the video is in the chat. Well, it's not in the chat, sorry, it's on my page. So make sure you guys tune into that. And yeah, just have a look at that one. All the socials are down below. Eric Bazinian and Jaime Munguia. I mean, who you had? What's his name? Oscar De La Hoya saying it was a one fight only arrangement, but there's no Golden Boy promotion stuff on any of the promotional artwork for Bazinian and Munguia. So I don't know how truthful that is. I need to take out the Cash App part because unfortunately, I don't know. Karma, you probably have seen this. Cash App is no longer available in the UK. They closed it off for some reason. But yeah, all the other accounts, everything is still there. Super Chat still work. Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all of the stuff is at the bottom there. Last couple ones before we get out of here. I always thought Dubois Senior was a strict Christian, and that's why the kids were homeschooled, and why Caroline wanted to be free of his overbearing strictness. Yeah, I mean, what was AJ alluding to behind Dubois' travel to Brazil? It was alluding to specialist treatment, specialist things that you can get in Brazil that you can't really get elsewhere. That's what he was alluding to. Well, we need a tourney to establish a new lightweight queen. They had legal issues here. Yeah, maybe. What happens in Brazil stays in Brazil. All right, look, with that being said, could AJ ruin Dubois' chin like he did with Dillian? Could end his comeback? Possibly. I mean, the accuracy, if you catch someone in the right place, you crack it enough. I mean, is the eye socket, will that ever truly be the same as it was? Is it stronger? Who knows? I heard another 5v5 is going to happen on February 22nd between Matchroom and Golden Boy. Yeah, no, I doubt that, to be honest. But yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being in attendance. I'm going to cut off the stream right now. Banners there. Hardcore Casual out for now, but new videos will be playing soon enough. But yeah, until then, peace, salute, I'm out.
Maybe I'ma make it, maybe I'm not. In time we'll see. But who better than me? I don't care if you agree. I ain't saying that I'm better than anyone. But who better than me?